Hello and welcome to the Item Box, your next 45 minutes to an hour worth of Sonic the Hedgehog news and any related gaming subjects that interest us.
Hmm.
As always, I'm your host, Sonicguru, and with me is Nikki17. How are you?
I'm all right. I've been surprisingly busy since the last time we've done one of these.
Yeah, I've got to point out that there was a previous recording, so we'll talk about things that you never heard before because that recording, things happened during it, and I just wasn't in the mood to actually try and edit down and upload that one. So
yeah,
there'll be things that we'll be talking about. So yeah, so out of the way. Yeah, how are you?
like I said, I'm good. Like I said, I've been busy with a few things. It's brightened up in the UK. It's gotten warm now, so out and about a bit more. Another thing I recently did, I managed to see Across the Spider-Verse this week as well. So I've just scare-tailed many of spoilerish stuff that's popping on the internet. In fact, there's now a new meme going over a certain aspect of the movie that, depending on you see it, you'll find out what it's about.
All I know so far is that a lot of people have worked very hard on getting it done, and the fact that, according to one of my associates or my friends, who works in the movie theater, it has been jam packed all the time. It's like, yay, there's stuff to do, and the movie's doing well, but boo, the cashiers and ticketers at the fucking theater is just non-stop.
Yeah, I bet so. I mean, it's funny you mentioned that because the last time, weirdly enough, the last time I went to the movies before then was I saw the Super Mario movie with our mate Mike Jr.
I've actually seen that now. I've actually seen that movie now.
Oh, have you now? Right. But I'm just saying before we move on. But again, we barely got in for a seating. It was the opening day, and I didn't even bothering.
Well, that's your problem. You don't go on opening day. You wait a week.
I know, but like I said, I mean, I was skirt-tailing it then, but we managed to get seats. The problem is we weren't together for the screening. We did try a few times, but didn't work. But either way, that's on my head for that happening.
You wait a week. You never go on opening day. You never go on opening day.
It's one of the cases we were available for that day. That's the reason why it happened. But either way.
Right. Yeah, nothing much for me. I've been currently right now. Summer of Sonic Team 2023 is happening, but it's not a full blown out video day, twice a week video like I've been doing last time or the time before that.
Yeah,
which seems to be happening every other year, depending on my mood. So it's not really annual, more like biannual, yearly. So by that, when I say biannual, it just means I do it once every 2 years, not once every twice a year.
Yeah.
So it's just basically a lot of it is just stuff I've already written down. It's like, you know what, I want to make this into Summer of Sonic Team. And it's just all Sonic the Hedgehog, not just happens to be Sonic Team or happens to be a video I want to work on.
No,
but it's working out in my favor. I've just released as of right now the next Summer Sonic Team on the Sonic Hedgehog 2 parts.
Yes,
and I got some shots in the works as well.
Yes, I will say I just saw that before we recorded, and I have to say there was a few ports of Sonic 2 I didn't even know that existed. I didn't know there was an arcade version of it for people to try out.
Yeah, I knew there was one. I didn't realize there was 2 versions.
Right.
I almost forgot about the Sonic Jam on Gamecom, but fair enough. Everyone wants to forget about Sonic Jam on the Gamecom.
It's worth mentioning as worth mentioning to remember and never to do it again. That's the main thing.
Yeah, but outside of that, even though I was so adamant of getting Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and I've been playing that. I've been playing for like nearly 40 hours now, and I'm still nowhere near the fucking end of the game. I'm like halfway. I've been getting distracted. It's like, right. There's a tower over there. Let's go to the tower. I have to spend 10 hours getting to the tower to get distracted by caves.
I have to ask, basically, as you've been playing for all these looking crannies and stuff, is most of the stuff of, I'm going to just rough it there, I'm just going to go by legs, or am I going to build a thing to get me up there? And then you find, how much are you doing either two things?
I haven't really been doing what other people have been doing, because I haven't, there's a feature where you can actually store your favorite fused buildings. I haven't unlocked that yet. So basically, it's basically whatever you can find or whatever orbs whatever Zonite orbs you can pick up.
Yeah.
But most of the time right now, when it comes to, oh, you got to traverse all this, well, just maybe make a big fucking bridge.
Yes.
That's all I've been doing. It's like you like travel up here and go all the way around. Okay, let's fuse all these planks of wood together, fuse them together. So you got basically a 50-foot bridge. Slam it down. Okay, let's walk up it.
To be fair, that's not too similar to what they did in Death Stranding, where you basically spend a lot of time building something to get across it, and then you just leave it afterwards.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing, refusing in a fusion. But I've been trying to do that. But I was to say, I actually dropped out of it because I was getting kind of, I guess, fatigued on it really, because I played through Breath of the Wild, and I didn't want to play, sit down and just power through it like other people have.
Yeah.
But instead, I powered through Pokemon Violet.
Yeah.
I got it 1 week ago. I have now finished it.
Well, we're back to this again. Back to you getting a game and finishing it almost in less than a week now, are we?
I didn't plan to. So it's like it's just slog. I don't like it. The performance of it is just fucking terrible.
Right.
God, the lag. Like when too much stuff happens.
Yeah.
And I think the design of it is too much too soon to go in open world. But then again, I blame Legends Arceus for that, because that's very open world.
I remember Jim Stephanie Serling saying, basically, if the next Pokemon game is not as good as this one, then I'm going to be really pissed off. And guess what? He was really pissed off about that.
It isn't as good. I still prefer Pokemon Shield over it. A game I spent over 80 hours playing.
Right.
But I managed to get through. You get to a point where we get to a point where you can actually knock out Pokemon in one hit. That's when that's where it goes smooth sailing.
Right.
Besides the very final battle of the entire game, that took a bit. I was swapping in Pokemon. It's like, I'm sorry, I love you, but you are nothing but more than a freaking tank, so I can revive the other Pokemon I can actually send out to kill this damn thing. It was always my Glaceon. I even though I chose the freaking Grass Cat, do you know who I actually transferred over from Shield and raised?
Go on.
A Charizard.
All right.
It was my go-to.
Right.
Anyway, enough babbling. Let's get on to the big news. And the biggest news of them all that came out of the fucking nowhere. Sonic Superstars. That is releasing this fall.
Yeah.
We have not had a back-to-back release of Sonic games since 2010 and 2011.
Been that long, has it? Wow.
Yeah, with Sonic Colors in 2010 and Sonic Generations in 2011.
Right.
And if you want to get a bit of an ass about it, yeah, Sonic 4 Episode 2 in 2012.
Yeah, I mean, we'll bring up Sonic 4 at some point in this, but anyway.
So, yeah, I think, when it comes to expecting what gets announced at certain events, so this is from the Summer Game Fest.
Yes.
Or Summer of Games. I can't remember what.
Summer Games Fest. I think that's what it's called.
a lot of games were announced or expanded upon. Like we have a new trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is okay.
Yeah,
I haven't finished remake yet.
Yeah, I mean the other thing that popped out of nowhere was there's another Prince of Persia game, and it's not the remake of Sands of Time, but it's another classic side-scrolling 2D game.
It's a Metroidvania style Prince of Persia, which looks great. I'm just not too sure on the character design.
Yeah, but like I said, I just find it weird that they were happy to announce this. But it makes you wonder: are you still doing that Prince of Persia remake?
Oh no, I think it's pretty much cancelled at this point.
Well, I don't know. I mean, supposedly the last time they said that we're taking more time, but it's getting more iffy now at this point. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah, plenty of the games were announced and expanded upon, like Disney's Illusion Island with Mickey Mouse, which it looks fun. It could be another installment to the Illusion series, which is always my favorite. And there was another game that was announced. I can't remember what it was now.
Yeah.
Oh, something called I don't know, like a demo of Foam Stars, which is basically, hey, it's Splatoon, but we've got more verticality to it.
Right. Okay.
It looks weird, but apparently it's really fun. But back to Sega Superstars. I don't think this was on anyone's fucking bingo card, was it?
I know. Well, it's funny you just mentioned Sega Superstars because it's like, to be fair, it's like they haven't used that subname for a long time, have they?
Oh, Superstars, no. We got All Stars. Last time was Superstars was tennis.
Exactly, yeah. So it's kind of funny to see that pop out again as a subname.
Yeah. Just a classic 2D Sonic game, but in 3D models. Like something that I know a lot of people will say something that Sonic the Hedgehog 4 should have done.
I mean, episode 2 did. Let's be fair. Like episode
when you mod it, yeah.
Yeah, but episode 2 was in 3D at least. At least they were all 3D model characters.
Sonic 4 episode 1 was as well. It just looked more cell shaded than it should be.
Yeah, well, it looked more like pre-rendered sort of aspects, really, more than anything else.
Yeah, episode 2 had more depth to it. Mm-hmm. So, seeing technically a 2.5D game, really, it's just weird, especially with classic Sonic and now having a playable Amy in a 3D model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's. I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, I'm more excited than I was when Sonic Mania was announced back in 2011.
You hit the nail on the head there, because the thing is, there's two things we have to say about this game. One is this is immediately going to get compared to Mania. And
oh yeah, it already is. It's like Sonic Mania is Sonic 4 and Sonic Superstars is Sonic 5.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have decided, if we're going to count Mania as the real Sonic 4 and this technically is Sonic 5, it's like,
considering the fact that Sonic the Hedgehog 4 was only named that just to make sales, it makes sense. Sonic 4 is Sonic 4 in name only, but not in spirit. No, that's more of a bridge between classic Sonic and Sonic Adventure.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if anything else, it's probably more like they tried it once and it kind of burned them off. So it's like, okay, if we're doing these 2D type games, we're never going to give them a number again. We'll just sub-name them from now on. Maybe that's the deal.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't think the argument should be modern Sonic should be 3D and classic Sonic should be 2D. I don't think that is completely unfair.
No, I mean, the thing is, like I said, it's depending on how this game plays as itself, because again, it is, for a long time, people were assuming that, or hoping there would be a follow-up to Mania. In fact, it's a good thing we're actually doing this now, because a lot of info's popped out of this game.
Yeah, it's good thing we waited days after, because it's like, here's this, here's that, and here's a bunch of stuff that we would have been kicking ourselves like, why didn't we fucking wait? And good thing we did, because we had, first of all, in the trailer, it shows off a lot of new things. Let's talk about the trailer first.
Okay, we'll do that.
First of all, it's in 3D. Secondly, for all playable characters, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, is co-op multiplayer. Right now, it's local multiplayer, which I don't mind. A lot of people say, why not be online? Why not be online? Because otherwise you can't, if someone fucks up, you can't slap them across the back of the head. That's why.
It's back to that old thing, is it?
Yes. Right. Plus, it's more closely tied to Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and 3, where your younger brother can put the second controller in and play as Tails.
Yeah.
So if you see it like that, there you go. Yeah. And furthermore, seems to be powers associated with the Chaos Emeralds. So we had this like jellyfish-looking thing, not Water Sonic really, and a Avatar clone Sonic.
Yeah, which allows you to throw a barrage of Sonics at an enemy or thing or something like that.
When I first saw that, I just thought of FNAF World. I don't know why. It just seemed too much at once, and FNAF World pretty much did the exact same, but with pizzas.
Oh, dear God. Oh,
Lord. Also, it was told if you sign up for the newsletter on their website, because the same thing happened with Sonic Frontiers, where you can get the soap shoes when you sign up. Now you sign up, you get a modern outfit for Amy.
Yeah, that was the thing I remember reading. They say like defined Amy look, which I'm wondering, well, what's more defined than a classic look? But if they're going to go with modern Amy, it's like, okay, that's a fun little extra.
Yeah, it's not much. It's like, see classic Amy in modern Amy's outfit.
I know. It just makes a stand. Well, it's going to look very odd next to classic, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. But who knows? Maybe they might do that as a thing later on.
Yeah, seeing the pictures of it, Amy stands out more because of a green and orange look, and compared to the more red dress.
Yeah.
And furthermore on this, it seems that Ian Flynn teasing that he not involved, #no smile.
Yeah, he basically did a thing say, I'm not involved with the game, but does it mean the game itself development? It could be other things surrounding the game. So
it could be a tie-in comic again, because they're always a tie-in comic.
Yeah, it's something. He will be involved in some form or manner, particularly if he's now going to be the guy in charge of like the Sonic lore stuff. So yeah, he's probably going to do something with that.
Well, if this is going to carry on from Sonic Mania, it's still going to treat it like a alternate dimension.
Probably, but like I said, it's the tagline for the trailer was new thrills, classic feel, or something like that.
Classic feels, new thrills.
That's it. Yeah.
New
No, yeah,
thrills,
we've also,
classic feels, right? Fucking damn it.
yeah.
But it's like at this point, it's like I'm not involved with this. It's like you did this last time with Frontiers, dickhead. You're not going to try this again.
This is the thing. It's basically it's playing the liar's game. It's basically they say they're not doing anything, but you're kind of sitting in the background going, "You are." I'm just waiting for you to really say what you're actually doing. You know, that's
so it's a Spider-Man thing again, is it? From No Way Home.
Yes,
We're
yes.
not involved. We're not involved. We're not involved. How do you explain this then? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So again, it's the waiting game, and I'm happy to play that game many, many times.
Yeah, and also, which is everyone is so excited about this. It's like, okay, I get it, but can you not be such assholes about it? Is that there's no classic zones in this, all original.
Hmm.
Or it's like, yay, no more Green Hill. Yay, we're free from the clutches of Green Hills. Like,
I mean,
okay, I get it, but at the same time, could you calm the hell down?
yeah, well, that's the thing is that was one thing I was going to bring up. I mean, obviously, there's been various things coming out saying that, oh yeah, we're not going to reuse any old theme zones from the previous games. There's all new stuff. That said, the first one we got, which I think is, oh, I can't remember the name zone, but it's basically it's a tropical island thing.
Oh,
which
Bridge Island.
Bridge Island zone. I mean, to be fair, it's like you are running around what look like checker pattern things, except they're not brown; they're just grey. So you know they haven't completely gotten away from that aesthetic. But then again, after like a decade of nostalgia, nostalgia wanking this stuff, it's like they just couldn't let it go in some cases, I guess.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that a few times before. It's just like we had a decade. That's why Frontiers feels so weird to me when I played it, especially in terms of design and story. It's like we had a decade of just self-referential and just simple childlike humor for a decade.
Nostalgia bait, yeah, and also nostalgia. Remember this with a twist type thing as well.
I think the only time it worked was colors, not because it was something new.
To a point. But generally speaking, most of the other things, little snippets of other levels we got are generally new. There's a jungle level. There seems to be like a digitized world thing that's new as well. And the other thing we should bring up is obviously there's a return of another Sonic character who hasn't actually been reused or come back yet.
Yeah. What name should we give him? Knack the Weasel or Fang the Sniper? Because people say he's not a weasel, he's in Ibolga. I can't remember the fucking. I can't. It begins with an E. It's a type of gerbil.
Yeah, to be fair, it's like what was it before? People joked about what was it? How do you spell Hadrosity Zone? Is it said this way or that way? And like that one.
At least then you have an excuse because it's pretty much the same spelling just with a space. I say Hydro City because it's a city of water.
But yeah, this is technically his first reappearance in a new game. Although he was in Mania as a disguise. That was one thing he was in there. It was like a little Easter egg.
Does it really count though?
Well, again, it's like the first time he was seen in a new game in some cases, if you take it as a cameo. But this is, he's in this for real properly. In fact, there is some footage of him in his 3D outfit, which, again, another thing we should mention actually is the game development. When they first announced it, I went to the website, and at the bottom it said it was Sonic Team. And I thought, oh, really? Sonic Team are doing this? I thought they would have been knackered out after doing Frontiers, but it turns out.
It's a thing, though. It also said Sonic Team for Sonic the Hedgehog 4.
Yeah, but that was the first thing I think is like surely
that was primarily developed by Dimps with the supervision.
Yeah, and again, I felt like surely they would have gotten like what they did with Mania was co-develop this with somebody else, and it turns out they are Artisan, which happens to be led by literally Sonic the Hedgehog's original character designer and level designer.
Naruto Oshima and his company Arzest are the primary developers of Superstars. Here's the thing: if people like, because someone did a comparison video between Superstars gameplay trailers and a test footage of the retro engine and how the speed cap is and how whether or not the physics work.
Yeah, physics.
They are identical.
Yes, if I saw that, someone did a character video, and funny enough, Christian Whitehead of all people literally gave that a thumbs up as a retweet. So seemingly he's like, yeah, they got it right.
Yeah, and as an aside, they're not working on this.
No, I should bring this up. Apparently at one point, both Christian and Yukaza were actually in talks for what would be the next game after Mania. Apparently they were thinking of doing a follow-up in some ways, and they had ideas, but apparently they never could find something to stick with, and they just sort of petered out and they just moved on really. So Yukaza went to Noshima and he just basically said, hey, do you want to work on another Sonic game again? And it's like, yeah, sure, why not? At least that's what we know.
When you really think about it, even though it's technically a new team, it's the classic Sonic team working on a modern Sonic Team game.
Yeah. I mean, it has been said that he was a level designer for both Sonic 1 and CD, effectively. And for a good few years, he's always kept it as a thing. I remember when Forces came out, he did like a little image of both classic and modern Sonic as a fun little thing. So he's clearly still got the love for the character, obviously, all these years.
Here's the thing as well with Naruto Oshima and his company, Arzest. They worked on 2 critically panned games. One of which you wouldn't believe was actually panned, but it was.
Yeah.
The previous game they worked on was Balan Wonderworld.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole kettle of fish, what happened with that thing.
Yeah. Mostly, apparently, a lot of the blame is to what Square Enix did, and because they helped co-develop it, and they wanted to push it out the door before anything was finalized.
Yeah. I mean, there's that, and also Whatever Yuji Naka, which we'll probably save that for another time, because that's a whole other thing as well.
Yeah,
so.
And furthermore, the game that you wouldn't believe was actually panned was Yoshi's New Island.
Yeah, I did hear they apparently co-developed that as well. They did that, and apparently a Pikmin one as well. So they have worked on
Hey Pikmin for the 3DS, yes.
That was it, yeah.
So they actually have a wide range.
Yeah, because
going back to what essentially put them on the map, really. Like, they know Sonic and how that works. So going back into an old pair of boots is pretty much expected.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I think it's clearly obvious is that if Sega are letting another development team work on the game, because they've done it before, they let like Sumo Digital do the racing games, and they did Dimps obviously for Russian stuff. So again, they're going to keep an eye on this game, and hopefully it doesn't get out of hands for the most part. But again, we won't know until the game comes out whether there's more stories to be told. But as the moment, it seems okay. And as you said, people who were worried about physics and momentum, it's the only thing that makes the Sonic game good. It's like so far it's like it's fine, it does work. There's some gameplay footage out there, weirdly enough, from IGN Japan, which shows off like, yeah, it seems to work. There's some weird quirks involving the jungle vines. Apparently, there's a weird thing where it will move momentum-wise, but you can sort of stop or stip. Again, could be fixed later on in the game. Who knows?
I think they did something like that in Sonic Rush.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's similar to Rush in that sense. But again, it's like, yeah, it seems to be you can't climb up the side of a hill and keep going. No, it's like, drag it up, you won't go unless momentum. So it's all there. And other people have been worried about like, it's just, too automated, the last few games, you just get spring pads getting you places. And there are in the game, although I've seen footage where you can do that thing where if you want to go back but you want to go high, you can jump off the thing and able to propel yourself into things. So it does allow you more control. You actually have more direction of where you want to go in the level as opposed to just keep going this way and let the boost pads do its work, basically.
Yeah. And on top of all that, we have a new character designed by Oshima himself. Right now, it just seems to be some character in a tin hat.
I'm going to state this right here. I'm going to guess right here that this is going to be some character. This is either, because the gimmick, as you say, it's a guy in a helmet. This is probably going to be a reveal of an old character coming back. And I've been trying my best, like, who the hell have they not brought back at this point? Because they've done nearly everyone at this point. We've had Mighty and Ray, we've had the Chaotix, we've had, Nax in this and all this stuff. So who is left in the canicity of Sonic they could possibly do as a surprise reveal?
Well, there's Beat 'em Bark.
Yeah.
If they really, really want to, there's Honey.
I was going to say, because this does have a tail. In fact, another thing that popped out is people were showing the game. There's some off-screen footage from Sonic Stadium from the Game Fest, and they've even showed all like the 2D animated sequence we'll get to in a minute. But it just seemed this character just have a little tail on, like almost like a raccoon, or some people say like
kind of like a raccoon, but considering what we see with Marine, but also the fact that someone pointed out it could be a spiked lizard.
That's it. That was it.
And considering the design of the hat they wear, it has the horns, so it could be a lizard for all we know.
It could be. I mean, again, if it is a brand new character designed to fit in the classic style, it's like, I'm happy for that. But like I said, I got the feeling that it's going to be a surprise reveal of somebody we haven't seen in years. Like, I get the feeling that's what they're going to go with.
Better question, male or female?
That's the question. It could be male or female. It's totally up there. The design doesn't tell you anything. So there you go.
Yeah, there's one thing about Knack that I'm gonna keep calling him Knack. I grew up calling him
Knack now, like Knack, whatever.
Yeah, Fang is his official name, but Knack I feel it's just works better. Just Nick Paddywhack. Just
give it a toe back. Yeah.
I think, not sure if it was the model or if Oshima actually redesigned him slightly, but in every single image of Knack in existence officially, he's had 3 fingers.
Yeah.
Every single one. Even it's like, oh, it's just maybe the American style artistry where they give characters 3 fingers because it's cheaper to draw.
Exactly.
I wish I was making that excuse up.
No, I mean that is a true thing. That's a true thing.
Yeah. But even next to other characters with 4 fingers, he still has 3. Even Sonic Drift 2. All the other characters, sans Knuckles, have 4 fingers except Knack. Here he has 4 fingers.
Yeah. As I said, I have
I'm not
seen...
so sure whether or not he forgot, like Toriyama did with the Saiyan tail.
Yeah.
He did. He forgot that the Saiyans had tails. That's why Goten and Trunks don't have them.
Right.
But he just writing the excuse, they removed them as birth. It's easier that way.
Right.
Then again, he fought Super Saiyan 3 or Super Saiyan 2 when he did Battle of Gods.
Oh dear, yeah. But now they got to Dragon Ball, I have to say one thing that was shown off from off-screen footage was we have another 2D intro to the game, very similar to Mania, but the styling of this is it's very much in the Dragon Ball style, if anything, more the...
It looks very, what's the word, Toei?
Yeah, Toei, again, I would say it's closer to like, the original manual, like visuals of the characters. They're more in that vein, in the sense,
yeah,
style-wise.
It actually reminds me more of the original CD and movie animation than it does the Mania or Origins Plus.
I would say Sonic has a bit more of the CD look to him in this one.
Yeah, I know Mania tried copying it, but it seemed to make its own style rather than, you know.
I'm assuming this is still done by Tyson Hess and his team because...
obviously. Who else are you going to get?
I mean, yeah, obviously, this is the wonder child Sega keep feeding and bedding for all these years. They're going to keep that guy in good company.
He made the intros to Mania. He made the Mania Adventures. He made Team Sonic Racing Overdrive. He made the animation to Frontier's Prologue, the Rise of the Wisps. He's like, does there anything this team can't fucking do?
It's funny. I will say what surprised me. He did an interview a while back. I think it was like an artisty thing where he was just drawing with some of the people. And he mentioned how whenever he does these Sonic animation things, he always likes to do something new. He doesn't like to try and do the same thing. In fact, weirdly enough, the only one he didn't like, and this is, again, not that I hate it, but he felt the Overdrive stuff felt like it's just going back to doing my old thing as I'll do the meme faces, do the funny things, without doing anything too new. I mean, again, it does seem like he likes to change it up every now and again to do something different, either artistically or what he's doing in the animation. So, again, I really like it looks good. I mean, we haven't got any official footage of this yet, but again, if you've seen the off-screen stuff, in fact, somebody on Twitter actually managed to, it's weirdly enough, it's actually timed exactly to Mania's opening music of all things. You could put that in and it's almost the exact same time length.
Yeah, people were freaking out at the fact that you could hear Sonic 4 music.
Yeah, I did that. I mean, first of all, that has to be temp music because the boss
obviously,
fight...
it's always placeholders. I don't think that people understand what a placeholder is.
Yeah, it is. And apparently, because I heard this as well, apparently people who've been playing it on the show floor apparently say there is original music in the game. It's just that one showcase from IGN apparently just decided to put Sonic 4 music instead. But another thing in that also same thing is the boss fight with this mosquito thing, which there is entirely new music. I'm pretty sure that's not been reused by anything. And I will say, from what it sounds like, it's more Mega Drive-y than any of the other attempts they've done.
Which makes sense because Jun Sonoy is working on it with association with T. Lopes.
Yeah, well, Jun Sonoy did do the music for Sonic 4 before, and people said like he tried to copy the Mega Drive style, but didn't quite get it to some extent. And it does feel like maybe with T. Lopes, it's like, oh, maybe they finally found that sweet spot where they can really almost nail it down this time.
Well, he tried twice, really. I think Sonic 4 had better music than 1. And Sonic 4 Episode 2 had better music than Episode 1. And the music they used for Sonic Origins to replace a few was passable.
Yeah.
Not great, just passable.
Yeah. I mean,
that reminds me, it comes out in a couple of weeks anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Origins Plus, yeah. Another thing we should mention is the special stage, because apparently there's like 3 different types in this game, apparently.
Yeah, we've seen 2 so far.
Yeah.
Which is they brought back Sonic 1 again because, that's everyone's favorite. Everyone loves a rotating maze.
Yeah, although apparently the twist this time is apparently that there's like multiple layers. Again, it's like if you do a certain course and if you get it right or get it wrong, you'll get chucked into another area. So there's that. The other one that
So
surprised me the most.
if they change it, I mean, Sonic 4 Episode 1 actually had a decent maze. Actually, it was dependent on how you control it rather than what you can't control.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't the thing with episode with Sonic 4 1 was like actually it played more like Super Monkey Balls and you didn't control Sonic, you control the environment to actually make it.
Yeah, you rotate the maze, and honestly, do not play the fucking Wii or mobile version. Because Christ on a bike, that is annoying.
Yeah, well, you can't even get that version anymore on the Wii, so you save. I think most people are safe from that.
Well, too bad. It's still on my freaking Wii, and I can still play it. Compressed music and all.
Yeah, just don't let your kids near it. Dan, just don't let them do that.
I'll let them play Super Mario Bros. on the NES controller.
All right. So yeah, we got a remix of Sonic 1 special stage again, but we also got this other one which it's in the trailer. It's basically where you have to like sort of hook shot onto these things, swing to whatever the object is. You know,
just say Spider-Man. You got to Spider-Man your way across.
I was going to say Spider-Man thing, though. The first thing it did remind me of, this is going to be weird, is like, you know, in Mario Galaxy, there's a few sections where you have to like let Mario, you have to like, he's in the bubble.
All the pull stars, yeah.
Yeah, you have to do the pole star thing. It's similar to that. Of course, the difference is whereas that you have to like slowly do it and get it through certain places, where this is more like time reaction and to do it, you know, right there now and get the swing right.
I expect speed runs on the damn thing.
Exactly, there will be speed runs, exactly. But I do like the look of that. I mean, that is kind of a fun twist in the whole thing. And there was another one I saw. This like I don't know if it's a special stage or a mini game thing where you use the avatar in order to break down barriers. So you have Eggman's logo, you know, this trademark logo, and you use it to like break barriers in order to get a ring in that thing, like one of the big rings. So that seems to be either a bonus stage or a special stage for what part of the game, because there are different ways of getting access in them as well.
Seen that one, yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, there is a lot of off. I'll probably put in some links from Sonic Stadium because they've shown off a lot of off-screen footage of stuff from the show floor and stuff, which I'm surprised actually no one's actually stopped them doing this. I mean, again, I know they were trying to do this with Frontiers because they really wanted that to be a secret, and someone did hack the game, so they actually saw more than they should have done. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they go dark with this game for a while before it comes out.
I don't know. We've been 6 months away, maybe. But I don't think anyone was no one's actually expecting this game to actually make an appearance at all.
No, I heard rumors. In fact, particularly from Kishimoto, Sonic Frontiers director, he did say at one point, "He's thinking, oh yeah, we'll still make 2D Sonic games. You know, we're not going to stop doing that." But he never indicated like, "Oh, we're going to do one in the next, you know, right now. We're actually maybe in a year or two or something." So again, there was rumors and mutterings that there may be a 2D game in the works, but no one thought it was actually going to come out, you know, this year alone, let alone this early. So,
which is just weird to have two official Sonic games back to back after 2 years.
Exactly.
Well, a year apart. Not to mention we had Origins this time last year.
Yeah, and we're getting Plus up for its pretty much 1 year anniversary, I guess.
Yeah. So, dude, Sonic fans have been eating good the past 2 years. Yes, really have.
We've been gorging ourselves with this stuff, haven't we?
We had Origin, we had a movie, we had Origins, we had Frontiers. We got Prime. The update. What? Oh yeah, we got Prime. We got the update to Frontiers. We got Origins Plus, and now we're getting Superstars, and eventually Prime Part 2.
Yeah, the second half of that, and then apparently there's also been some little mutterings about the Knuckles spin-off show may appear towards the end of this year as well. Again, I have to keep an eye on that. So
yeah, so far we just got an official logo.
Yeah, but
keeping our dreams still high. Last time on a lost recording now, is that we had a bunch of official Lego sets be revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they all look good. We had a Loop-the-Loop that seemed to be the most expensive. We had Tails on his workshop, Amy's Cafe, and I think an island one as well.
There's one that's meant to be just like a one-off with Sonic, basically. That's it.
Yeah, and it was teased at the end that there would be an Eggman-related one. And yeah, we now have...
Video. Yeah, it's in the video, like, as they're putting Sonic through the loop-to-loop, you can see it right in the background, and it's perfectly there to say, we want you to see this and drool, folks. We want you to drool for this stuff.
Yeah, and now it's officially revealed that there's a Death Egg robot playset.
Yes, we've finally got it after all these years.
Which is going to cost, surprisingly, less than the loop-to-loop.
Yeah, I mean, apparently this was showcased of. I went on the Lego site. Apparently, this was showcased on the Lego's kids website thing. This is where they actually a lot of the images came from. But yeah, it is on its way, and presumably it will come out at the same time as the rest of them, which is August.
Yeah, this is going to cost like $60.
Wow.
Yeah, I would think this would have been the second highest one because the Loop de Loop
Yeah.
cost nearly 100.
Yeah, but then again, it depends on how. To be fair, the way Lego works, oftentimes they can reuse molds they've already done for other sets, so maybe that keeps the cost down for like what parts they use. Whereas the loop-de-loop thing, they had to build themselves, so maybe that's the difference.
Yeah, but we also in this little set we finally get a Cubot.
Yeah, exactly. At last, I have been waiting for ages for them to do something with the lads, as I call them now. That's what I call them on Cubot. And I have to admit,
we also get a modern Eggman fig as well.
Yeah, we saw that in the previous one. Yes, which it's funny, especially going after the Lego Idea one with his bizarre nose replacement. So it is funny to see him just, all right, here's just regular Eggman as a minifig, basically.
Yeah. So, not much to say. It's like Sonic and Lego should have been something back when Lego Dimensions came out.
That's the weird thing because we had Lego Dimensions and there was a lot of stuff they did tie-ins or whatever, and some of the stuff it was kind of like a guess of like if this did well enough, then some of these could be full play sets. And I'm trying to remember if any of them really did. I know they did one of ET, the Gremlins, 18,
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. They did one of Ghostbusters, particularly the one of the Answer the Call one. They did that as a thing. So they did a lot of tie-in brand things, but they were just
a lot of them just basically just for fun, really. So with Doctor Who and Portal 2, Rugrats and Simpsons for some reason.
Well, the Simpsons, I don't think Rugrats ever got in Lego Dimensions.
I'm pretty sure it did.
No, I mean I know they did a thing where they had I'm trying to remember. They did one with the Flintstones. Apparently there was like with the Doctor Who one, you can go into secret levels of other things, like if you got the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, which is a strange thing because I was looking for a Red Dwarf stuff last time, and there's the bunk from Red Dwarf in a Lego game.
Yeah, it's basically here are little snippets and bits from series 10, 11, and 12, basically. That was just a one-off level they did.
It was weird seeing it. It really was.
Yeah, and like I said, it's weird that they did that and then nothing ever happened. But like I said, I don't know exactly how Lego works with its licensing deal because that's supposedly how they can get all this stuff together. But yeah,
considering what we said last time about Red Dwarf being two separate versions now from both Grant and Naylor, we could actually get some licensing out there to get a Lego Red Dwarf.
Yeah, I know there was a few attempts to do like idea sets. There was one to do like a miniaturized bunk set with the crew and even the Blue Midget, the walking one, and another one did his with a Starbug, and they didn't win, but they were touted around for a few years. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if that gets at least interest back up from when Red Dwarf does come back up. But yeah, with the Sonic stuff. But yeah, I just find it funny. I mean, at this point now, when you think about it, we're now going to have Dimension Sonic. Idea Sonic and now official modern Sonic as three separate minifigs of all things.
Yeah, it's the feet that give it away, really.
It is the feet. I mean, actually the Dimensions ones is looking quite pale now in comparison to the Ideas one, presumably the main set one. Though I do like the fact that we're finally getting both the Tails and Amy minifig because there have been other ways of getting those, but they're not official anyway. And to be fair, they're the sort of things if you were to say work on a Lego animation and had these things, but they weren't animation friendly enough for you to work with, then these ones at least will not make you want to rip your hair out, basically. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm just depending on personally for me, like even though I like collecting Sonic stuff, especially the games and there's only certain pieces of Sonic merchandise I would actually want to own. I mean, like with Sonic, the Lego Ideas set I really wanted to have. I still have not set it up.
I was going to say, have you actually opened it up at least? Have you actually like looked inside of it or whatever?
No.
Oh God.
No, I haven't. Yeah, I just looked at the pieces and I looked at the layout first. Like at least 75% of these pieces is just be building the freaking road. So I'm probably
yes. Yeah. I could say that having done it myself, you will spend a lot of time building one section first before moving on to the loop-de-loop and then the last bit as well. So you will spend a lot of time doing one bit at a time, getting something built.
Yeah, because I'll keep getting asked like, what do you want for your gifts like birthday, Christmas? It's just like, even though there's a lot of Sonic stuff out there, it's like I don't really want it. Like if they actually made every single wisp in a plush like they did with Jade, I would have want all those. I would want all 15 wisps.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't exist.
No, I mean there are a few things I do wonder, like why there has not been a toy of that. Although that said, going back to Lego, I will say when these comes out, I probably will get either both the Tales Workshop and Amy Aminal area first, particularly with the Amy one, because at the back of it they put there's a little egg of a certain creature in there, just as a little ploy to Sonic fans there.
A Coco.
No, not a Coco. No, it's an egg. Remember, I told you an egg. What other creature that comes from an egg that you can?
I know. I'm taking.
I know. But again, I'm just saying, if the opportunity came up as Lego Chow, if we got a Lego Chow Center, for instance, would that be something you would want?
You get a Lego Chow Garden, then yes.
Yes.
Full on. There's the kindergarten. Here's a garden area, and here's several eggs. Just blind bag Lego Chow. Come on. Blind bag Lego Chow.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go. So I think it'll be a question of when rather than if.
Yeah. Rounding out the news we have for Sonic the Hedgehog. Apparently there was also Sonic the Comic Con. I think you went to.
Yeah.
It is comic is now 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get into it until the end of the fucking run.
Yeah.
Or end of the official run before the re-releases happened.
Yeah.
It's like, what was your first arc in Sonic the Comic, or the adventure arc? The last arc? The last arc.
The one that before the comic got canned and they just reprint most of the older stuff.
Yeah, that comic's now 30 years old. F for F. First for Figures. I can't remember the freaking name for a second.
Yes,
First for Figures is now doing a PVC model of the Sonic Adventure box art.
Yeah, literally that boy 3D.
That famous pose Sonic has done on top of the logo.
Yeah.
I kind of want it, but at the same time, I don't want to pay that price for it.
I mean, given the fact that ever since they started doing these statues, it just feels like they started doing that, the Knuckles and then Tails and Amy, and so it's like every other character has gotten their own statue, and it feels like less time passes by before the next one gets done. And I guarantee you, this one will sell out, and they'll start doing like maybe one of Tails and Knuckles.
I swear to God, they just recently released a B Banjo-Kazooie, and they're like a week later, here's the Walrus one. Like,
what? That's what I mean. Yeah, this is what I mean. They got to the point now. It's like even when these things come out, you're thinking, "Oh, I better get this. This is what others wanted." There'll be another one around the corner. They are so proficient at this stuff.
Either you're really rich, or it's like walking down the first aisle of a Comic-Con. Really, you want everything. It's like it's like the first aisle. It's like you run out of money.
Yeah, exactly. You just run out of money. Yeah.
You have to walk around first, see what you need. But the problem is, with walking around, see what you need. It's like we come back to it. It's like, yeah, can I have that Power Morpher I saw for like $10? Oh, we sold it. Shit. I kicked myself for not getting the a couple of them because I think they weren't a complete set. Like the Black Dino Thunder Morpher.
Right.
I could have got it, but it had no key with it. It cost way too much to have it with a key. Also, on top of this, there's a Sonic the Hedgehog waffle maker.
Oh yeah, this is a thing. Yeah, this is a real thing.
Like we had the Sonic Toaster where it had a more intense heat on making a Sonic Team head.
Yes.
And now we have a waffle maker where it has a modern Sonic looking at you as you cut his head open to get to the waffle covered in butter and syrup.
It actually reminds me years ago when with Powerpuff Girls, there was an episode where they made fun of a guy who had to have every collection, and they had to come up with all kinds of crazy things from golf bags, sausage makers, and they were going to use a waffle maker, but it turned out, oh wait, no, that's a real product. So that was a real thing that could get made.
Yeah. Minecraft now has a Sonic texture pack outside of the DLC pack they did last year.
Yeah.
Or year before, I can't remember.
Yeah, a while back.
And lastly, Sonic Prime is getting a bunch of merchandise.
Oh yeah, this is something I was waiting for this bad boy to finally pop up.
Yeah, we got a bunch of plushies and a lot of little figures, including Knuckles the Dread Pirate and his ship.
Yeah, I mean, I do find it funny we got to a point now where we can actually get a Sonic set with a pirate ship. I didn't think that day would ever come.
Yeah, we got the Prime Sonic. We have Ninetales. Everyone calls it Tails 9. It's like it's Ninetales. Emphasis on the 9.
Yeah. Although apparently, I think the toy actually only has 8. This is something people have been sort of pointing out. I think the actual Ninetales in the show has 9 tails, but I think the toy one only has 8.
People thought the render as well for the Sonic Forces has 8 as well. It's like you didn't realize like probably behind them.
Yeah.
And Rusty Rose has having the figure as well. I couldn't remember a freaking name all day. I was thinking Sonic Prime. It's like, what's Cyber Amy's name again? What's Cyber Amy's name again?
Yeah, the Terminator Amy, RoboCop Amy, basically.
Because I was thinking about the battle scene, like in episode 2. That was fucking awesome. I was like, what's her name? What's her name? What's her name?
When your mind just
Rose. God damn! I kept picking Thorn Rose. Like it's something Rose.
Yeah. That said, though, we are getting a Thorn Rose toy as well. They have mentioned apparently the ones with the pirate shit, they're 3-inch figures or something, really.
2.5.
2.5, right? Those ones, but then the other ones you get, Prime Sonic, Ninetales, and a Thorn Rose toy. They're much bigger ones. I like the sort of, I guess, jazzware.
Yeah, like I said, there's a plush, and they got the 5-inch figures.
Mm-hmm.
Thorn, Tails, Sonic, and Mr. Dr. Eggman.
Yeah, which I had confirmed. The thing is, you can rotate his toupee. That is the thing you could do on the toy. Yes.
That's just funny. I don't know why that's funny to me.
I mean, you look at that dude, you're thinking that's not real. It's not real. And even in the show, they do gags of it like falling off or whatever, or so they just grow with it.
Just wait. You know what would be a best toy right now is just the baby in his neck.
Yes, Dr. Babbles, that's her name. Dr. Babbles and his I don't know what his golden name is, like his egg.
The egg rattle, I don't know.
The egg rattle, whatever you want to call it. But that's like that. If that's not a toy by the end of the show, I would be disappointed. I would be.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it around about of all the Sonic news we had the past.
That's one more.
Yeah. Really?
There's one more of the business with apparently there was a Sonic show that never was.
Oh yeah, there was. I didn't really look into it. I didn't see the video. So all I know, apparently there was going to be a 4th DiC Sonic animation about Sonic sisters.
Cousins, apparently. They were going to be his cousins from space.
Of course, sure.
Yes, I think I'm going to be the one about to do a lot of the heavy talking here. So yeah, apparently Phil Hanich, who apparently went to DiC, had this is through the History of SAT.am book that's getting made. He's released a bunch of old documents from it, and apparently one of them was one called Super Sonic Sisters, which was a planned spin-off that apparently according to the day, it was around 93. So this would have been touted around the same time as Adventures in SAT.am. And the reason behind this was because when they were doing this show, they're thinking, yeah, people love Sonic, but it's not getting much of a big girl audience in. So they kind of thought, why don't we do a spin-off with a female Sonic? And apparently this is what they came up with. Apparently 2 cousins, 2 Sonic space cousins in deep space. And the setup was going to be like a slice of life comedy show, at least from the setting of it, with the 2 main characters were called, if I could get the names up again, Monica and Isabella. And the setup was that they were both sisters. One was, one of them was like the sporty go-getter one. The other one was the more calm, laid-back attitude one. And they would do things like going to junior high, getting involved in like mysteries or trying to do things together. And yeah, I'm making it sound weird as it is. I mean, to give you an idea, there's one character they pitched as basically, let's have a junior high announcer in the style of Robin Williams from Good Morning Vietnam. That was planned as a character.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Again, I look at this stuff and we think to ourselves that apparently Underground was the weird one. Apparently, another thing he also put out was apparently when Underground was in development, at one point Scratch and Grinder were going to be in it, apparently, as bounty hunter characters through another character who was working for Robotnik, but that all got changed up with Sleet and Dingo in the end. But yeah, looking through this whole thing, and again, the thing about this is that this never got made, obviously. There's no images of this. If you look at the video, we'll put the link in. A shout out to Gwen, who did the images for that. I know that person from the SAT.am Rejuice project, so probably talk about that someday. So all of the visual aspects come from that person. But when I read of this thing and what it sounds like, what it is, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things that if you and I watched this, if this got made back in the 90s, it would be one of those things that we would deny any ability that we watch this show, but we would secretly watch it without anybody seeing us.
Yeah, it would have been in My Little Pony of our time.
Exactly. It would have been that. We would have been like, oh, no, we didn't watch that silly girl show, but then secretly thinking, shit, they better not know. And funny enough, there were some ideas for an episode. One of them did feature, weirdly enough, Sonic appearing in an episode to do with one of the sisters trying to enter like a speed tournament. So he was there as like a coach. Again, this is all just sort of what ifs and whatever. Again, you can read the document and the sort of pitch ideas. But I will say from reading it, the closest I would say this could have been, like if this got made, is there was a show years ago called Lloyd in Space on Disney Channel, which effectively was kind of like, teenage life, but he happened to be an alien in deep space, and you go to like junior high college. He had a best friend who was a robot eye, his sister who was 8 years old, but she could read minds up as a psychic. So it probably would have gone in that direction, in the sense of, life's not easy when you're a teenager and in outer space as well. So I guess that's sort of the idea they were going with. But no, at the end of the day, I like the fact that we get to at least know about this stuff. Again, it would have been, if it did get made, it probably would have been panned at the time because it being so different. And again, it was tailor made for a girl audience. And of course,
yeah, I think it would have been gone the same way as Underground. It'd probably just have one season of maybe 12, 24 episodes, maybe.
Yeah, it would have lasted maybe a year or two and then would have got, shoved in the back corner and probably would have been panned. But again, I like the fact that with all this stuff, even though, there's so much of this info we don't know about. Again, I'm happy that something like the history of Saturn books getting made, because it allows us to know the thought process of what goes behind this stuff. Because again, I find it immensely satisfying. Considering, as I said before, I think Sonic the Hedgehog, to me, I think it is a big playground. As other people come in, play with the toys, and do their own things. Some work, some don't. But hey, it's fun to see what they do with the toys sometimes.
Yeah, I expect a lot of fan art of these two characters in the future.
I've already seen some, so expect more soon, and I expect one from you one day.
Well, maybe of Millie. I'm not too sure the cousins.
Right. Well, wait and see. Wait and see.
Yes, and that is it for the Iron Box this time. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you really enjoyed this video and podcast, please leave a super thanks. Or if you want to support the channel, you can for $1 a month on a YouTube member. I've been Sonicguru. He's been Nicky17, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.